So they're worried about you. That's what they said, isn't it? Your mutual friend, or more than one, suddenly appearing, suddenly checking in, suddenly wanting to know how you're doing, how you're feeling, whether you've spoken to them recently. And it felt almost nice at first. Like people actually cared. Like the people around you were paying attention. And then something felt off. The specific questions they asked. The way certain things they said sounded just a little too familiar, like they'd been briefed. The fact that this particular person never once showed this level of interest in your life before everything fell apart. And that feeling, that quiet, uncomfortable, completely specific feeling that this conversation isn't really about you at all. Trust that feeling. Because it's right. What you're dealing with has a name. Flying monkeys. And they are exactly what they sound like, people who have been, knowingly or not, recruited and deployed. Sent in to do the things that can't be done directly anymore. To gather information, to deliver messages, to nudge you back toward the person you've been trying to get distance from. To make you doubt yourself, doubt your decision, doubt whether you're being too harsh or too cold or too unfair. And the most painful part of this, the part that makes it so particularly vicious, is that it uses your own relationships against you. Your own trust, your own need for connection at the exact moment you're most vulnerable. This isn't concern. This is surveillance with a friendly face on it. And you need to know exactly what you're looking at before you say another word. Let's slow this down. Because flying monkeys don't just happen. Nobody accidentally ends up surrounded by people who are subtly working against them. This is constructed. Deliberately, carefully, and with a very clear understanding of exactly what it's designed to do. Look, it starts the moment they realize direct access to you is closing. The moment you started pulling back, going quiet, building distance, they felt it. And instead of respecting it, they started working around it. You know why? Because people who use others don't accept losing access. They always find another route in. So they start talking. To your mutual friends, to people at the edges of your life, to anyone with an existing connection to you that can be activated. And the narrative they build is specific and calculated. They're not the problem, they're worried. They're not the one who caused this, they're the one who's struggling. They're not the one you needed distance from, they're the one who just wants to know you're okay. And people believe it. Because it's delivered with just enough vulnerability, just enough convincing detail, to sound like the truth. And now those people come to you. Genuinely believing they're helping, genuinely thinking they're doing the right thing by reaching out, by passing along a message, by telling you how much the other person is hurting. They're not lying to you, they're just repeating a lie they were told. And that's what makes it so effective. The flying monkey doesn't need to know they're being used, they just need to be pointed in your direction. And here's what gets passed back. Everything you say, every detail about how you're doing, how you're feeling, whether you seem to be moving on, whether you seem open, whether you seem broken. Every word you say to that concerned friend gets filed and reported. Not always deliberately, sometimes just in the natural course of a conversation that gets had later. I spoke to them, they seem to be struggling, that's enough, that's exactly what was needed. And now listen to this, as here's the part that should make you genuinely cold. They're not doing this because they miss you. They're doing this because losing control of the narrative, losing the ability to monitor you, influence you, know what you're doing, is something they absolutely cannot tolerate. This isn't heartbreak driving this. This is control. And it never really stopped. Let me ask you something. And I want you to really go there with this. How many conversations have you had, since all of this started, where you said things you shouldn't have? Where you opened up, got honest, let your guard down with someone you thought was safe? Where you talked about how you were really feeling, what you were really going through, what you were thinking about doing next? How many of those conversations do you think stayed in the room? Because they didn't. And somewhere in your gut you already know that. Let's start with your privacy. The thing you thought you still had. The small, sacred space of your own healing process that you believed belonged to you and nobody else. It doesn't, it hasn't for a while. Every vulnerable moment you shared with the wrong person got packaged up and handed back to the one person who should have had the least access to it. Your pain, your confusion, your lowest moments, your progress. All of it, reported back. All of it, used. And you had absolutely no idea it was happening while it was happening. Think about what that actually means. You were never really alone in your recovery. They were in the room the whole time. Just at a distance, through other people's eyes and mouths, monitoring every step you took away from them. Then there's your trust. And this is the one that does the longest damage. Because flying monkeys don't just cost you the relationship with the person who sent them. They cost you your ability to trust the people around you. Every friendship now comes with a question mark attached. Every concern check-in now gets filtered through suspicion. Every person who asks how you're doing gets measured against the possibility that this is not what it looks like. And that constant, exhausting, completely justified paranoia, that is not a personality trait you developed on your own. That was installed by someone who weaponized your social circle so thoroughly that you now can't move through it without armor on. And you're healing. Let's be brutally honest about this. Every time a flying monkey showed up, every time someone passed along a message, shared how much they're hurting, nudged you toward doubt, your healing took a hit. Not a small one. Because healing requires distance, real distance. And flying monkeys are specifically designed to collapse that distance, to keep you emotionally tethered, to make sure that just when you were starting to breathe again, something pulls you right back into the gravity of it. That setback every single time, that's not bad luck. That's the point. And here's the coldest part of all of this. The friends being used, most of them genuinely think they're helping you. They have no idea they're a tool. And that means you can't even be angry at the right person because the person you're angry at is untouchable, sitting at the center of it all, clean and uninvolved on the surface, while your entire social world quietly works against you. That's not chaos, that's architecture. And you were living inside it. Alright. Here come the excuses. The ones that have been making this feel less sinister than it is. Less calculated, less like something that was done to you with full awareness and complete intention. Let's shut every single one of them down. But they genuinely care about me through our mutual friends. Do they? Do they genuinely care about you? Because people who genuinely care about you respect your distance. They don't dispatch others to close it, they don't recruit your social circle to maintain access they've already lost. Genuine care looks like silence when silence is what you need. Not a carefully constructed network of concerned friends all somehow delivering the same message from the same direction. That's not care, that's a campaign. But our mutual friends wouldn't do that to me. They already did. Not because they're bad people, but because they were handed a story that made them believe they were helping. And here's what's important to understand. It doesn't matter whether the flying monkey knew what they were doing. The damage to you is identical either way. Your privacy was breached, your healing was disrupted, your trust was broken. The intention of the messenger is completely irrelevant to the cost you paid. But what they passed along was actually true. They are struggling. Of course they're struggling. Or at least that's the version that got to you. Because here's the thing about a person who uses others as weapons: they are extraordinarily good at performing the emotions that get the job done. Struggling, heartbroken, lost without you. Every single one of those performances has one purpose: to make you feel responsible, to make your guilt heavier than your self-preservation, to get you to take one step back toward them. Don't mistake a convincing performance for reality. But I don't want to lose those friendships by cutting them off. Then don't cut them off. But understand exactly what you're working with. Some of these people are being used without knowing it. Some of them know more than they're letting on. And until you know which is which, until time and behavior make that clear, you protect yourself first. You share nothing you wouldn't want reported back. Nothing. Not your progress, not your pain, not your plans. You become the most private version of yourself until the architecture around you becomes clear. But surely they wouldn't go this far. Don't be naive. They went further than you think, they went further than you know. And the fact that you're still surprised by the lengths they'll go to, after everything, is the most expensive blind spot you have left. Close it. Now. Right. Let's finish this. You now know what's been happening around you. Not to you directly, around you. In your friendships, in your conversations, in the spaces you thought were safe. You know that the concern wasn't concern, that the check-ins weren't check-ins, and that the person at the center of all of it has been sitting back and watching the whole thing work exactly as designed. So let's talk about what happens now. First, you stop talking. Not to everyone, but you get ruthlessly selective about what you share and with whom. Your healing is yours, your progress is yours, your pain is yours. None of it goes anywhere near anyone who has even a peripheral connection to them. Not because you're paranoid. Because you're smart. And because you finally understand the value of protecting your own process from people who have shown you it will be used against you. Second, you stop explaining yourself to the flying monkeys. You don't defend your decisions to them. You don't justify your distance. You don't engage with the messages they've been sent to deliver. A simple, "I'm fine," and nothing more. Because every detail you hand over is a brick they'll use to build the case against you. Give them nothing to work with. Third, you stop being surprised. This is who they are. This is the full picture of what you were dealing with, not just the direct harm, but the infrastructure built around it. The reach of it, the coldness of it. Let that land properly. Let it replace every remaining doubt you had about whether you were overreacting, whether you were being unfair, whether you owed them anything more. You don't. You never did. They built a network to keep you accessible, monitored, and emotionally destabilized. And the most powerful thing you can do right now is become completely, utterly unreachable. Not angry, not reactive, just gone. Well, the talk is over. The rest is yours.